It's December 30th, 2020. It's the end of the year. And as we head off into the year 2021, just saying 2021 is like crazy to me. Where did the time go? Bring back the 90s, mate. No, I'm just kidding. But I can't believe it. The year 2021. It's just, wow. A blink of an eye, right? Now, I know, like you, I'm addicted to the gravitational flow of skiing. I get pumped when I watch others do it. I get jazzed just pointing my own skis downhill into the zone. The thing about 2021, as we know, it's nuts. Like I've never even worn a necky my whole life. Now I got to deal with face masks and everything else. And the biggest bummer for me about that is I miss people's smile. I miss giving smiles. I miss receiving smiles. I'm always trying to read people's eyes. Are they happy? What's going on? And recently this week, I posted at skitalk.com my resolutions for dropping into 2021. And for me, it's all going to be about sharing a socially distant smile, emotion, and acting on that. One turn, one pole plant, one run at a time. That's what I aim to do here in 2021 is get out there and ski and just continue to be addicted to that gravitational flow. Hi, everybody. I'm Dan Egan, and welcome to Ski Talk, powered by Pug Ski. Ski Talk, well, is all things winter. Our guests range from the legends of the sport to industry experts and to skiers and riders like you from around the world. Welcome. We welcome your comments. Just put them in the comment box right there on Facebook, and we'll start a conversation with you on anything we're talking about this week, last week, or anything you want to talk about into the future. Tonight, as always, we have a great panel of experts who are ready to rumble, and we're going to open up, as we always do, with the co-founder of skitalk.com, my good friend, Phil Puglisi. Phil, how you doing, my friend? Good. Let's get you unmuted, and welcome to the show. Phil, it's one of the rare times I don't hear you. That's really bizarre. Hey, you're one of the hardest working guys in the ski industry for sure. And, with all that you do and all that you know about the ski industry, I'm wondering, what are you looking forward to in 2021?
The new normality. We'll see what happens. This is the busiest time of the year for us coming into these next couple of months when we start looking at the upcoming year's equipment. We start getting on snow, we start testing it, we go to trade shows, but a lot of that is not happening this year. So we're going to end up actually meeting with a lot of our local reps in the area, getting on product when we can, and just doing what we can to get the information out to our readers.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And people appreciate it because I know they're hanging out there on Ski Talk and getting all the latest information. Next up tonight on our panel, it's my good friend Heather Burke, an award-winning journalist and creator of FamilySkiTrips.com and LuxuryVacationGuide.com. Welcome, Heather.
Thank you, Dan. Hello, fellow skiers.
It's great to have you, Heather. And, I love reading all your stuff. And, one of your first articles that you posted at Luxury Vacation Ski Guide, LuxuryVacationGuide.com, right when COVID hit, was sort of the survival guide for social distancing and isolation. And for somebody like yourself, who normally is just traveling all around the world, doing what you do, writing great stories, I was wondering, were you able to take your own advice in COVID with your beautiful husband, Greg, and family? How'd it go?
Fair enough. Well, yes, because I found social distancing to be the biggest oxymoron. I am a very social person and I just live to travel and to ski. And so it was a very challenging year, but you find your joy, you find your way to stay fit. And I can't wait to get back to traveling and skiing. It's my passion, and as is traveling. And I am very hopeful that we get that vaccine, get the shot so we can start getting face shots again.
Absolutely. And, I do travel a lot, but you and Greg, I think, have one of the best schedules I've been watching the last couple of years. It's awesome. Next up on our panel tonight, it's the National Sales Manager for Liberty Skis, Tim Dyer. How you doing, Tim?
Everybody, how are you?
Good to see you, my man. And, of course, I'm stalking you and seeing all the great photos of you ripping it up there in Vail with the new snow. And I know you had a recent birthday. But more importantly, you're a big fan of the rock band Kiss. And I wanted to know who's your favorite band member and what's your favorite song?
Oh, well, for that was Halloween while I was in college, and that was one of the best nights I semi-remember of my life. So it was phenomenal, and that was I was Ace Frehley that night, and I felt like it.
See, you're another one. Bring him back. Bring him back. When I was a kid, of course, Big Brother John loved Kiss, and he had those faces painted on the walls of the room we called the teepee room in the attic of the Milton Hilton right outside of Boston. So I was happy to see that. Next up on the panel is my really good friend. And whenever I'm at all interested in what's happening with the World Cup, FIS, and World Cup skiing, there's only one source for me, and that's Olympian Pam Fletcher. Pam, welcome to Ski Talk.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Dan.
It's really great to see you, Pam. And of course, I know how much you love to ski and, of course, the history with your family at Neshoba Valley. And, I just wanted to hear from you, just how important it is that in this strange sort of year that World Cup skiing is actually going on, that they're pulling it off, and what that means to the winter sports industry.
Well, Europeans have been absolutely amazing in terms of being able to host these races. And most of the racing that I understand has taken place at ski areas that aren't even open, which really helps in a COVID time. There's less hoopla in the Finnish area. There's a lot less distraction. They can just get down to brass tacks and race. And they've had a lot of protocols in place. The FIS has to keep everybody safe. They're doing a lot of testing. If somebody tests positive for COVID, they can't race that weekend. And we've been having some incredible success on the U.S. ski team despite COVID. And I'm excited for these guys. It's awesome to see them do so well.
It's really great. And I think it sparks the whole industry, and it sparks all the conversation about winter, and it kind of makes it feel a little normal. Of course, here we are in the middle of the holiday week, looking at New Year's weekend right down the gullet. It's going to be here tomorrow. And Phil, you were talking about the crowds up there in Tahoe feel a little midweekish to you.
Yeah, I was really kind of surprised and reflecting on it, and I realized I shouldn't be that surprised for a couple of reasons. We see the way that pass sales have been over the past 2 years ago with these big mega passes, and the majority of the people we feel we've seen are really going towards the regular pass and not the premium, and avoiding the blackout days of the Christmas holidays and such. And what that did is that really opened up those holiday weeks, whether it be Christmas week, President's week, and MLK, and those normal busy times are not nearly as busy as they used to be. Now, combine the fact that we are doing a little more social distancing out there on the hill, the crowds actually were a little bit much lower than I really anticipated, and the majority of people out there anticipated. I mean, the lines look a little bit longer just because there's less people in them and there's less people going up the lifts, but they don't really take any longer than we've seen on the average midweek powder day out here, which is really kind of surprising. And that actually, it kind of leads into actually the contest that we're announcing the winner of. And this was over Mount Rose, where they did a very, very good job of controlling the people out there. And they started off soft, and they built things up as far as bringing into different phases. And what they realized is they weren't getting enough pass holders out on a hill. So they started a pass holder contest. So when you scanned your lift ticket and went through, you were entered into the contest. And I get a notification the next day that I won a pair of skis. And I felt really kind of embarrassed and with this. It's like, geez, I'm the last person that needs another pair of skis. We've got plenty of our skis in our test fleet, and the very good Solomon QST that we won is one of our favorites, but we already had a good review on it. So I thought the best thing we could do with it is to pay it forward. I mean, there's people out there that it's been tough for them as far as the money either to get out on the hill or not being able to, but we thought this would be a good opportunity to pass these along. Even one of the members on our site, it says, me winning skis is like Jay Leno winning another car. So
So you're paying it forward, and do we have a winner? If somebody
We
did somebody
do.
win the ride, what'd they get? Who won
let's
it?
put it up here on the screen, Nelson. And we got Ron Wolf won the skis, and I believe Ron might have entered from Facebook. So, Ron, you got 72 hours to claim the skis. You should be getting an email shortly that Trish is sending out, and we'll look forward to getting you the skis out this the next day or so.
That's amazing, Phil. You know, back in the day when people gave me free skis, block your ears, Tim. We sold them in the parking lot.
No block.
Now, Tim, what are you seeing around the Vale area? A lot of people out and about skiing?
Yeah. It's good. It's busy. It's happening. And for me, I mean, more skiers means more skis sold. So, you know, as much as I want my own little ski area, I realize that we got to let other people ski there too. So, yeah, it's been busy. And I figured out, you know, a little bit on the reservation system. I've been reserving, and it's great. And, you know, on the weekends, I'm kind of a weekend warrior right now, but, you know, I'll start my ski day at 1:30 or 1:45. And it's real interesting to be walking to the ski area and watching everyone walk the other direction. And it's worked out really well. And I'm a 3-hour skier anyways. So it's worked out nice, just kind of going in the late afternoon.
I love the Crack and Noon Club. Don't talk to friends. Wait for me at the bottom, and I'll just start lapping. That's a good attitude. Now, you know, Heather, you know, you're always in touch with people and families and people heading out there. And what are you hearing from families? Are they traveling? Are they away this week? Are they in resort? What's going on?
Right. So there's certainly a pent up demand. People are so eager to get out and travel and be in the outdoors and recreate. People are definitely finding it more cumbersome. You have to make a reservation, not just a hotel and have a ski pass, but you have to reserve your ski days. So it's trickier for certain, but people are getting out there. And yeah, as Phil mentioned, the lift lines look longer, and they are longer because of social distancing. But I'm also hearing that once you are off the lift and skiing, the trails are more wide open. That's awesome. That's a nice silver lining. So you do need to make your resis. I've got my Breckenridge trip next week. I've got my dates booked. And yes, it takes more time. It's a bit more cumbersome, but to be able to ski is such a privilege. I think we all feel that now after having, you know, been cooped up, quarantined, whatever, inside, and not being able to do our favorite sport. So,
You know, being a driver from Boston, I've really had to kind of pull back on my lift line etiquette and learn to just kind of let people go. I want to jam forward, fill the space, and sit everybody on a chair. How are they handling it at Neshoba Valley, Pam? What's happening there for lift lines, and what's happening with the local resort just outside of Boston?
Well, one of the things that they're doing is they're limiting the product that they sell. So, I mean, they're basically doing a glorified private that you could put whoever you want into your little bubble, so to speak. And what that has allowed our staff to be able to do is create a safe, a distance teaching area for, you know, any level of skier. We're taking from 4 to up, and they have been able to pretty much maximize the that they offer and be able to give an experience for the customer, so the customer feels good about it, and the staff that's doing the lesson, they feel good about it. And then we're maintaining our guideline with the state of Massachusetts that we're, you know, trying to keep it to capacity. We have to honor that, or else, you know, the whole thing will have to be put away. And that's why I think that people are being a lot more thoughtful this year when they're skiing. The things I hear from other people at other mountains is that they're trying to be respectful. People are trying to enforce the wearing of the masks and the distancing in the lines, and it might take a little longer. But the experience, once you get on the snow, we've all been jonesing to get out there and go, and people are doing it, and they're coming down with smiles on their faces. You can see it in their eyes.
I love that. And Tim, you got the whole entire shop behind you there on screen. Just give us the skinny on Liberty Ski. Give us the elevator pitch and why we should all be on it.
Absolutely. Well, we've been in business since 2003. I've been at the company here 8 or 9 years, moved out as an East Coast skier, grew up a ski racer, and just kind of realized that this is what I wanted to do, is be around skis forever. And just kind of worked my way over to this job in Vail. And it's been a great learning experience. It's really a fun company to work for. They listen. They're really taking the advice of what I see, or my reps see, or consumers come to us and what they want to ski on. And the company listens, and we're really building a fun product. Again, part of the big thing with us is we're here in the Vail Valley. So, I get to ski in, and I'm mounted, and I'm on the mountain without reservation system, but on the mountain within 45 minutes. So that's a really nice piece for us as a ski company, to be this close to really the action. We use bamboo in every ski we make. We always have. That bamboo gives that ski that super life and energetic. It's also lightweight, self-sustainable, a bunch of different things that bamboo does for us. And that's kind of just a signature of ours. So we use bamboo, poplar, carbon fiber. We've got some new construction called vertical metal. And I think we'll talk about that here shortly in one of the skis that Phil has there. Some innovative technology, Colorado, bamboo. Those are really the key pieces to us. And we're competing. We're in some good, bigger retailers, which has been great, as well as small guys, middle-sized guys, Christie Sports here in town, and REI, and a bunch of Evo, and then again, smaller guys, Larson Ski and Sport, and the Ski Essentials, and some of those style shops throughout the East Coast. So we've really grown that market for our dealer base, and it's a great relationship.
It's a great time in the ski industry. There's so many new brands coming online, and you can just see how great the graphics are behind you. And, it's so nice. It's refreshing. And I know that the people at on the forums at Ski Talk are all responding to that. Heather, I'm jonesing to get back to Val d'Isère. I'm watching all these World Cup races going on, and I want to get back to Europe. Switzerland's open, but can you just kind of give us the skinny on what's going on over there, and what we should expect if anybody's at all thinking about Europe?
So it's very complicated for Americans to go there right now, and I'm not apprised of the exact regulations, but Europe, I think, is something that you might want to just table until it's more wide open, just because between lodging and lift tickets and all of the protocol, it's a difficult time. I think it's a good time to ski locally and to ski in the U.S. for now, but be poised and ready to go to Europe, because it's, as you said, Dan, it's phenomenal. I'm jonesing to go back to Europe as well. I skied Spain in February, and it was just so extraordinary. But for now, I think it's a great time to, like I said, ski locally, get your family out on snow, in whatever capacity that is, and just keep Europe in your future, in your crystal ball.
You can't just drop ski in Spain casually. Were you in the Pyrenees, or where were you? In
the Pyrenees at Baqueta Barret, which is the largest ski resort in Spain. And between the gorgeous vistas, the super friendly people, and the food on mountain, Spain is phenomenal. And not many people have been there. It's not as big as France or the Alps of Switzerland and Austria, but it's lovely, and it's Baqueta Barret is the size of Vail, and nobody's heard of it. So that's a kind of a hidden gem. And Spain is a good value, very good value for your money.
It's the Pyrenees are beautiful. The resorts are amazing, and I'm sure you can read all about it at Heather's website. And I do recommend you going. Pam, now I'm just jonesing to get into this, and there's a lot to cover. But let's start with the Super G win on the men's side. Local Vermonter bringing down his first win. Fill us in.
Ryan Cochran-Siegel came off a second place World Cup finish in Val Gardena, and that kid is on fire. He went into Bormio, and that's where the race was that he won, and he was first in both of the training runs, skiing really, really well. And half the battle in Super G is understanding and knowing the terrain. The hill is cut a certain way down the mountain, and they can move the set in Super G, but for all speed purposes aside, the way they have the track set has to somewhat mimic the downhill. And he just smoked it in the Super G. I mean, by 0.7 seconds over the rest of the field, that's a stomp in the face. I mean, that's really setting the stage, especially when the next day in the downhill, he came in 7th, and he was only 0.3 of a second back. It gives you a kind of a parallel or a paradigm as to how close these races are and how much of a commanding lead that was for him. And he's just got such a fresh attitude and spirit about him. He's healthy finally. He's gone through a series of injuries, and it's really nice to see that attitude from Ryan Cochran-Siegel out there on the World Cup Tour.
Now, like yourself, he comes from a small little ski hill in Vermont. And, I've been on you about this for the last couple of years. You've been saying that the men have been knocking on the door. They're going to get it done. And I've been a little bit of a naysayer. He's not alone, right? There's others.
No, he's not alone. Bryce Bennett and Travis Ganong and Tommy Ford has been on the podium several times. Ted Leedy is trying to get back in the game. I mean, the guys have a good thing going right now. And what's really interesting about both the men and the women's team is the depth is starting to emerge. I mean, you're starting to see that slip show. We didn't realize there was a full petticoat underneath that dress. And now you've got these guys jumping in there in the points. And it's so exciting to see. So I just give you a great little parallel. Last year on the women's side, Michaela Schifrin, she had for the last 2 seasons 34 podiums, just Michaela. And now this year you have people like Breezy Johnson with back-to-backs and Val d'Isere in the downhills in 3rd place, 2/3 best finish she's ever had. And she pulls it off 2 days in a row. And then you have Paula Molson in the duel in Lech coming in 2nd place. And you see them and they're kind of in a I can't believe this moment, especially Paula, and when she was sitting there saying each round she'd go, I'm up against who? I'm up against who? And then she beat them. It was just so exciting to see. And then you have to look at all the young ones coming up. There's a lot of names that you're going to start hearing a lot more of that no one has heard of. And it's really nice to see the depth.
Well, I'm becoming a believer. It's early in the season, but there's quite a few podiums right there that you mentioned, and I am becoming a believer. It's exciting to see. Now, Phil, you gave away your own personal pair of Solomons, but you launched a new contest today. Fill us in.
Yep, we're working with Liberty on this one. Tim and I got together a little bit ago, and we had a pair of Liberty V82s, a ski here that actually our testers really fell in love with when they introduced this ski 2 years ago. It's a ski that actually was a little diversion from Liberty, what they've made in the past, made a lot of great free ride skis, but they came out with this VTech collection that was just a tremendous front side collection of a ski, really good shape, and just looking at the ski visually, you see how good it's going to be on firmer conditions. It was a 3 ski collection, 76, an 82, and a 92. The 82 is probably the most popular one, and that's the one we decided to give away. So Tim can probably get in a little bit more about the ski as far as the attributes of it, but we'll have a chance to win a pair. Sign up on our site or on Facebook, and if you get our emails, you're going to get an email tomorrow to sign up. The cool thing with this, if you notice, serial number is 007. So we jokingly say this is the license to kill ski, being 00.
So, license to slay it, Tim.
Yeah.
Tell us about the ski.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, Ski Talk and Phil and the crew have been really great to launch a series like this for us. Most people, when you talk about these narrower waisted skis, think of other brands besides ours. And we really wanted to make a stance and say we can do this too. And that's kind of what happened there. We put the V76 in Ski Magazine's test about a year ago, and that won against a bunch of really great competition. So, there was 5 skis in that category, and we were one of them, along with, your Stokely and Rozzi and the key names, Solomon, carving style skis. So we're really proud of what we did there. And it took new technology to do it. It has this what's called vertical metal as opposed to metal laid on top of the wood core and on bottom of the wood core. We vertically laminated in with the bamboo and poplar. And you can kind of see the ski here. I kind of have a picture of the actual core. And if you can kind of see, there's the metal stringers that run down the length of the ski. And that's what that vertical metal does. So you get a lot of the good of the metal without it being ultra heavy and you got to be an ex-US ski team member to actually go out and ski it. If you just want to try and work on train track turns and things like that, these have been just phenomenal for us. So,
well, you get 2 of the best women testers in the world right here. They'll be putting their shipping address in the comment section. Tim, people are asking. Brad's asking, can they get to skis in Canada?
Yep, absolutely. We have a few key retailers there. We're mostly in Western Canada, but we work with Mountain Cultures is a great shop for us. Abominable Ski Shop. And Revy Outdoors, so we're up in Revelstoke. So we're starting to build into there. We have a new rep in the area, so we're growing.
It's those sounds like your favorite places to ski, Tim. Let's be honest. And it sounds like we need to plant some of those liberties in heli ski locations.
Yeah, exactly. Demo day.
Demo day. Well, it is that time of the show here at Ski Talk where we open up the conversation. We go around open table to people can ask on the panel, other people on the panel, whatever they want. Heather, we're kicking it off with you. Have at it.
All right. Well, Tim, you made an interesting point about how you went skiing just for like a couple of hours. Do you think that's like a new proper format etiquette, letting everybody have their turn? Do you think we're going to see more of that?
I think it's a good way to go. Absolutely. I mean, we all got to work. So, if you can fit skiing and work in at the same time, it's kind of like playing 9 holes of golf,
Right.
Get out there, whether it's first thing in the morning, you want to get the fresh cord or it actually snowed, ski. Yeah, I can see skiing from 9 to 11 and, vice versa. If you want to watch the Bills play, which cause I'm from Western New York originally, you can watch the Bills on Sunday and then go ski from 1:45 to 3:45. So it's worked out real well for that. Absolutely.
Nice. Pam.
Yeah.
Got any questions?
Yeah, I do. So, Heather, you're going to go to Breckenridge, and did you do a hotel? Did you do a house? I mean, these are questions my friends have when they're trying to figure out, okay, I want to go someplace. Should I stay in a hotel? Should I look at VRBO? When did you do it?
So we did a slopeside condo so that we can cook in the event we can't go to restaurants. That just is a really nice feature, amenity. And I think that there are lots of, you can call Breckenridge Central Res, or you mentioned VRBO and Airbnb. There are lots of different ways to find different properties. I mean, hotels are lovely as well. If different people like different things, but we just thought it would be nice to be slopeside, ski in, have lunch, go back out, take our turns. Like Tim said, don't hog the slopes, but there are so many ways with the web, with technology. There are so many ways to find lodging.
Yeah, I think that ski in, ski out is real big too right now because most people have to boot up in their car and eat lunch in their car because there's not a lot of places that you can go inside. So
right, and
find that stuff is good.
Yes, and après ski is back in your condo for now.
Or the parking lot.
I have my mask. I'm an après expert.
Heather, you've been throwing around the hashtag the new après ski, and are you the originator of that?
Perhaps, and I think it's so fun that ski resorts are encouraging tailgating. For years, they were trying to shut that down, but they understand now. People want to have a beverage after skiing, and they're allowing tailgating. As Pam said, you boot up in the parking lot. I wrote a blog about that too, because people had never heard of such a concept. Don't put your sock in the snow. Balance, pivot, get it in the boot. But you can tailgate in the parking lot now. So it's hashtag new après ski.
I love that, and I'm spreading that one around. Phil, what's your question for the board panel tonight?
Well, pretty much going towards Heather. And again, a question that came up in the comment section. We're seeing a lot of travel restrictions. California, we're seeing as far as limitations at hotels, but also Eastern Canada pretty much shut down. So what are people's options, what they can do? Obviously, we want to be smart and be safe, but what are you seeing from your people?
I'm seeing people go a little more local. Places you can drive to without the travel restrictions for now. This isn't going to last forever. We're going to get through this. But for now, it makes sense to drive to places and to be able to make sure that you are within their protocol, whether it's, the 14-day quarantine or having a negative test. I think it's a good time to go to places that and eventually we'll all be able to travel freely again. But for right now, you've got to adhere to the policies that are at hand for everyone's safety.
I got to tell you, Berkshire East is really getting a lot of press these days. There's a lot of people heading out to these ski areas that, you've always known are out there. I've skied Berkshire as a kid and ski raced there in college. But I've got a lot of friends from Boston skiing the Berkshires this year and not coming up here to the whites, to the greens. Tim, you got a question for the panel?
Yeah, absolutely. When you're on a panel with Pam Fletcher, you got to kind of ask her a question here or there. But, with my background being a Rochester, New York boy and growing up a ski racer, I had a lot of idols that grew up and ski raced right in my hometown and backyard. And I'm just wondering if you could maybe share something about maybe Diane and maybe AJ, because that was some of the guys that, as I was growing up, was kind of watching.
So yes, I'll touch on Diane and AJ, but I was very close friends with Cindy Oak. Do you remember Cindy?
Yep, absolutely.
Spent a lot of time on the team together. We were peers. We raced in the speed events together, and I actually just talked with her just before Christmas because she was out in Vail and she was at Pepe's and she thought of me and she wanted to say hey. And so
Cool.
I'm in touch with a lot of those guys. Diane, I'll never forget her win in Super G in Lillehammer, and that was just absolutely unbelievable. I mean, she just had it in her head that she was going to win. I wasn't on the team with her at the time. I was covering the race. But she was younger than I, and we grew up together racing. But that win for her, it's awesome when you know someone that well and you're covering the event. And she ran number one. She blistered the field. No one could touch her.
That's so cool.
And then AJ, what an awesome American downhiller. I mean, that guy's need for speed was out the door. He was definitely an inspiration on the team. He was a mentor to so many of the young kids. He had great success on the World Cup in racing. And, I'm lucky to have that ski team family.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful that a lot of us stay in touch and keep up, with what's going on. And, after an incredible race, everybody's on the phone. Did you see? All excited about it. I mean, and like I said earlier, the depth in this team right now is just so cool. But how about those Bills? My God, they cried. I thought I was going to die.
Love it.
Are we making any predictions for the Bills, Tim?
Gotta go all the way at this point.
Well, that was a hell of a game.
That was they're phenomenal.
That was great. I mean, they played so well. I was impressed. And I'm a Players fan too, so it was fun to watch.
Cool.
It's one of the themes for the new year, of course, is the tribe of the winter sports enthusiasts for skiers and riders. Pam, you're talking about the tribe. Tim, longtime member and appreciating people in the tribe. I love that. And just one of the things I wanted to touch on, and it's near and dear to everybody's heart out there, but particularly in Colorado, is as we head off into the backcountry this year, really it's time to be safe. And not really push it too far. We're coming up here shortly in January on Ski Talk. We're going to do a whole show just on avalanches, and we've got a whole great panel of experts coming online for that. But Tim, I just wanted you to touch base on that. I know you ski in Vail Pass all the time, and what's your approach? The people sometimes think, the more I know, the better I am, but actually, it's the more you know, the more trouble you get in. How do you manage that yourself?
Absolutely. I mean, that's a great point. And, I've put myself in funky situations that I've learned from and didn't want to go back to that situation, so those are just some of the things that I've kind of learned over being out here for the last 8 years. And, being an East Coaster, touring to us was nothing at the time or 10 years ago. And then now coming out again, on a beautiful Saturday, I might pick a day at Vail Pass as opposed to Vail Ski Area because I'm out and it's nature and I'm on my own and I get my own powder tracks and, take as many runs or whatever I want. And it's good exercise. So it is difficult to make sure that you pick the right line and not get yourself in too crazy of spots right now. It's just not worth it. It's more worth it to be going home. And so we always live by, hippie turns are the way to go, and you can read the angles and, get good at reading the angles of the slopes and knowing what that slope angle is. And, stay away from the 30 degrees or 25 degrees. It's still pretty darn fun to ski a 15 or 18 degree slope. Just cruise up, have some fun, with some friends and just keep on doing it. So that's kind of the direction we use it for, or I use it for personally. I stay away from any of the big lines. Those days are done, especially with, the snowpack out here in Colorado.
If you want to star in your own TGR film, I think the whole idea is just do it again and again and do it on the low angle, go for the low hanging fruit. We always say. And, Phil, it's quite a panel tonight. And I always tend to stack it with that East Coast feel, which is why we've picked the movie we did tonight, because, a lot of people think about the Powder Highway up there in Canada. And a lot of people think, on Highway 70, there's all these, great ski areas. But people often forget about Route 100 in Vermont, goes by some of the most classic ski areas of all time. There's a nice new film out featuring the ski areas along Route 100. We're going to show you a clip right now from that film.
When we stopped in Stowe, we actually got to meet up with my old coach and friend, Hans von Briesen. He started coaching this kid, and he saw a lot of potential in him, and Hans linked us up, and Luke was so polite. He's so mannered, and he was like, yeah, do you mind if I ski with you? And it was like, you show us where to go, and you show us, what the sick features are.
Our hearts are beating. They beat us once tonight. We step into the rhythm until we feel alive.
Cool to kind of, ski with the kid and give him some pointers and then, just feed off of his stoke. It was super rewarding, honestly. It was very, very humbling, and I think it took both Ian and I back to our younger days.
Bring the house down. Bring the house down.
They experienced some of the gnarliest ice I have ever seen out there. It was cool to see that and kind of come behind it and be like, oh, I'm going to give it a try too.
Bring the house down. Bring the house down. Bring the house.
Mad River Glen is a one-of-a-kind ski experience. Ski it if you can. It's steep. It's got the single-person chair. It's super cool to roll into that place. It's really a must-ski if you're out on the East Coast, for sure.
these classic mountains, the single chairs, the double chairs, basically the fixed chairlifts. You're riding those chairlifts and you just like embrace the culture, you know. It's not necessarily about the skiing as much as it's about the conversations, the relationships that you're like building while you're on the ski hill.
So we're going to a ski hill tailgate, which I am extremely excited for. I always thought tailgating was reserved for American sports, NFL, baseball, any of that stuff in a stadium.
What's up, man? I'm Mike.
Never did I think I was going to roll up to a ski resort and see guys with the slow cooker pumping in the parking lot. You're not talking end of the day celebration après style. You go do a couple runs in the morning, come back down, eat a pulled pork sandwich, have a quick dog, maybe crush a couple beers in the parking lot, head back to the chairlift, go crush a couple more laps in the park with your kid, because that's what you do on the East Coast. Huge scene, big fan.
We are here skiing with X Games legend Mike Nick.
It was a great time. You know what? It's like full, make you feel like a kid again style skiing. There was like 20 of us ripping around, having a fantastic afternoon.
Being welcomed into a place like that when you're so foreign in a way was so sick. You know, we're being embraced by these people and they really enjoy us, you know. It was cool.
Hey, that sounds like an incredible trip. Is there anything you two reflect on now that it's over?
You know, I reflect back on it, it was like the people that were there were so stoked that we were out there that they honestly like made it.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, absolutely.
We had an unreal trip. It was just about going, checking out the ski culture, and if there was somewhere to go check out ski culture, that's it for sure.
It's always amazing when the West honors themselves and come east to the real roots of skiing. Tim, I mean, come on, you know, sometimes people, those Westerners talk about us like, well, it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I love it when, you know, an East Coaster can make a few turns out here and somebody can say that person's from the East Coast.
Exactly. Heather, you know, I mean, I think that sums it up for, you know, skiing is that it's about the people, it's about the place. And I know you know, that's a lot about, but is that what motivates you and your family?
Well, I started skiing when I was 3 and met my husband through skiing. I mean, it is part of my soul, and we all share the passion. And I really encourage families that want to get their kids into skiing. This is a great time to do it. And skiing will become your family glue. You share the sport. If you share it in a positive manner, give them the proper instruction, hire an instructor for the foundation, and it will become that vacation that everybody looks forward to. I can't play soccer with my son, and I'm not going to play tennis with my mother-in-law, but we can all ski together. Grandparents, parents, kids, grandkids. It's just a phenomenal sport because it's independent, but you share the experience. So I encourage people to get out and ski.
One of the most beautiful stories in all of sport, Pam, is your dad, of course, in your Olympic experience. Share with us, I know it's personal, but your dad, after your accident in Calgary, and what happened and what it meant to you when he, you know, was with you in the hospital.
Yeah, it was hard. I mean, it was an accident, and was it supposed to happen? And, you know, he basically said, just remember how important it was for you to get here in the first place, and the feeling that you had when you walked in during opening ceremonies, and what it meant to you to qualify on the Olympic team and be at the top of your game on the U.S. ski team. And having someone say something like that when you have just been hit by a course worker and your leg is broken and you can't race in the race of your dream, you really remember that the little things do mean a lot, and every little step that you take in life is so important, and you should value what you have and value value that as how you're going. And I think that those words meant a lot. I mean, I think I would have taken a completely, I would have looked at it completely differently had he not said that. And you know, I look at these young kids out there on the World Cup. Some of them are not so young anymore, but they're still kicking butt and they're winning races and getting on the podium. And it's just so exciting to see that energy. And if you can't, folks, if you can't get out there and ski, start tuning in. There's great movies on skiing. There's the World Cup is on the Olympic Channel, and you can watch it streaming on Peacock. There's so much online resources where you can watch. There's videos where you can learn, and get out there if you can. But if you can't, there's a clicker, and there's a lot of stuff out there that you can watch and get fired up for next year.
And that's it. And as we say every week, you've wasted another perfect Wednesday night with us right here on Ski Talk. We're so glad for our panels of experts tonight. Tim, Pam, Heather, Phil, always continue the stoke, feed the tribe, get them out there. I'm Dan Egan, and we'll see you somewhere on the slopes. Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Bye-bye. See you on the slopes.
Yep.